All right, Shalom Akim out there. We want to start off by giving all glory, praise, honor, dominion, and power unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Giving double honors unto our apostles and elders at Great Millstone that are ruling well. Salutations, much love, honor, and respect unto those men that are worthy of double honors, and to those that are addicted to this ministry, Shalom, and to the brothers out there fighting, listening, teaching, and learning. Salutations unto you. To the hopeful elect, to the house of David, back with another after camp, the Los Angeles Ancient of Days brothers, back with another one. Those one, this is edifying for you. To the few sisters that do listen, Shalom. This one is going to be deemed
Star Wars. Yeah.
The rise of Israel, because the war of heaven has to take place. But before that, all the calamities have to happen on the earth. But that's going to be the ultimate climactic battle, as the apostles say, to end this thing off, man, to bring forth the kingdom of Yahshua under the guise and leadership of Yahushua Mashiach, under the tutelage and command of his father, Yahweh, the Holy One of Israel, who's the mastermind behind it all. So with that, go ahead, Art.
It's Matthew chapter 25, verse 31. When the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory.
Sit upon the throne of his glory, because ultimately the Lord is going to make the judgment with the chariots. That's, in a sense, is like his throne. Because even when a king went to warfare, he always had a representation of his throne out there on the battlefield. Like when people had to come see him, they had to, my Lord, the battle goes well, and he's just sitting on, his prestigious throne, even on the battlefield. Like it will follow him everywhere he goes. So in this sense, the throne is the chariot. That's where the Lord is going to be doing the judgments. That's where he's going to be sending out lasers, and that's when he's going to be sending out the beams to gather up his elect. Go ahead.
So Revelation chapter 12, verse 7. And there was war in heaven.
Now, what does that mean? Ain't talking about Satan in the BC era fighting against the Lord. Oh, the Lord got the throne. I need it. It ain't talking about that. It's Greek mythology, man. It's madness. It's dogma. This is talking about the war in heaven, which is talking about where the birds fly. Because you got to remember, there's a heaven where the Lord is at, the spiritual realm, the fourth dimension. Then there's heaven, space. Then there's heaven where the birds fly. And then there's heaven, a rulership. So when certain parts where it says that he was cast out of heaven, it's talking about Esau's rulership was taken down. And then in another part where it says the war in heaven, it's talking about where the birds fly, where you got planes and jets. And that's where the chariots is going to come fighting with Esau's air force and his military. His aircraft carriers and other nations of the world fighting against the chariots, which shows you that in the movie ID4 or Independence Day. All right, that's exactly a visual of what that scripture is talking about. Go ahead.
Like while the bro brought that up, it was a report that the chariot was over the White House.
Yeah, there was a chariot over the White House this past week, and it had Washington on high alert because that airspace over Washington is the most heavily guarded in the whole United States, man. What the hell is that sitting there? It's a chariot, man. Go ahead.
And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought against his angels.
And the dragon fought and his angels. So even going into Esau's air force, there's like a aerobatic or aerodynamic air force, and they call them the Blue Angels, man. They do little tricks or whatever, dog rolls and barrel rolls and spins and stuff like that. So that's why the Lord is comparing it to his angels. This is his way of flying, getting up there like the chariots. But they ain't going to compare. Go ahead.
And prevailed not.
And they didn't prevail. They ain't going to prevail because this is going to be a quick a round one knockout, man. The Lord's tech is going to sweep away Esau's tech like it's nothing, man. And Esau's been preparing this for decades, centuries, man. He's been trying to perfect his chariots. Go ahead.
Neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which divided.
It's the same person. It's talking about the same person from the garden to him being Satan, which just means adversary. He's been an adversary against the nation of Israel since the beginning. Since the jump, he has hated our nation. So the Lord said, this is the same old dude. I'm going to destroy him finally in the end, just like Cain and his descendants. Said, nobody touch Cain, or your judgment is going to be sevenfold. The Lord is saving this man for his own self. The Lord said, I'm going to avenge Vengeance is mine. Go ahead.
which deceiveth the whole world.
He deceived the whole world after he came out of the caves during the Renaissance era, and deceived the whole world into thinking that the angels was babies, women, naked and shit in the heavens. When the Lord reveals himself with the mighty angels, they ain't gonna be that. They're gonna be something totally different, something totally new, something you never seen. So-called black men in angelic bodies, being spearheaded by the ultimate son of the power, man, which is Yahweh Shai Mashiach. He's the second most powerful entity in all that is, man. He's been given all judgment and all power, right?
He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
So his power structure was cast down to the ground. He's cast out into the earth. He's brought down to the earth. When somebody's brought down to the earth, it means your power is done, limited. It's nothing. Go ahead.
Is what I say
If I
something?
could just say real quick, when you go back to verse 7, and the dragon fought and his angels. Now, the Christian church, they've been teaching for years that this means the actual spiritual devil Satan was fighting and rebelled against it.
bro.
No, this dragon, when
That's
you go to Daniel the 7th chapter, that's that fourth beast spoken of.
Rome.
Rome. And then it links up with Revelation the 17th chapter. The angel broke it down to John. No, these 7 heads are governments.
The kings. Yep. And then we got to know what that dragon is talking about today, because kingdoms are reincarnated just like people, and prophets and different kings are reincarnated. So, like the brother said, it's the fourth beast, the Roman Empire. The same different provinces that Rome had control over is the same provinces that it has control over today. But what are their modern names? NATO and the EU and those nations like Germany, Britain, Luxembourg, France, and all these, brothers know what it is in the breakdown. It tells you that on the chart of the beast, those different nations. So that's who's going to fight against the Lord when he comes. They've been the ones preparing, having lasers on jets. Why the hell you need lasers on jets if you're going to fight another nation on the earth? No, they fight something outside this earth, man. Go ahead.
And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now has come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power.
Right when the armies of the world are destroyed, man, that's going to be on everybody's mind. Like, what now? Who's going to take over? There's a voice. That's going to be like the whole spirit of the whole earth is going to be like, now. Go ahead.
And the
What's
king.
the voice?
Oh, sorry. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation.
Now has come salvation, because in the instant of the chariots destroying Esau's military structure, men are going to be getting beamed up. Like, where the hell are they going? And then bam, once that is done, said and done, now is salvation. Come to who? Yahshua, Israel. Star Wars, it was a space battle in the heavens, and through that it was the rise of Yahshua. Go ahead.
And strength and the kingdom of our power and the power of his anointed.
Woo, the power of his anointed, because every knee is gonna bow, every tongue is gonna confess that he is Lord, Yahweh Shai Mashiach. Who was that on the chariot? Yahweh Shai, the Son of the Heavenly Father. Go ahead.
For the accuser of our brethren is cast down.
Yeah, because he accused us while our people have been going off in this land under his watch. Now is he cast down? Right. The Lord has destroyed him and his nation. Go ahead.
Which accused them before our power day and night.
Yep, and so he accused us, but the Lord ultimately, that's why he's going to destroy him, and he's going to have no place in heaven, because he's been the liar. He's Satan, he's the devil. He's the same guy. The Lord's going to cast him all the way out. Is that it?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ion.
This is Revelation chapter 19 and verse 19. And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth.
Who's that beast? NATO and the EU. Now the Lord, what the brother is reading said, now we're seeing this beast. Now what's gonna happen to it? Go ahead.
And their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse.
And what's that? What war is it talking about? There's 3 wars written in the book of Revelation. The 2 have already passed. First World War from 1914 to 1918 is gone already. The Second War, World War II, 1939 to 1945 is passed already. This war, the third war, that's what it's talking about. All the kings of the earth gathered together with their armies to fight who? Go ahead up.
and against his army. And the beast was taken, and with him the
Can you read that from the top?
Yes, I like it.
Okay.
Revelation 19 and 19. And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth.
NATO and the EU, and even the other kings that's not a part of NATO, because it's going to be a world war, a world conflict. Because those that ain't a part of the beast is who? Like Russia, China, Iran, and these other nations. They going to be there too. The kings of the earth with the beast is going to be gathered together, the armies out of number to fight. They're going to conventionally fight each other at first. Then boom, when Yahushua makes his return, then they're going to turn the fight against him. Go ahead.
And their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army.
Now, against him that sat on the horse. Now, that horse represents power. The Lord's going to come with pure power. He's going to come on that chariot. And it says, behold, a horrible vision from the east, because that's when the Lord going to make his return from the east. And it says like lightning. That's how quick the Lord's going to be there. Right above all the armies is duking it out. And they're going to see the Lord, and they're going to try to fight against him. But what does it say? Go ahead.
And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet.
Hey, the beast was taken, destroyed. So NATO and the EU, their army is going to be destroyed. And the false prophet, which is the Catholic Church. Everything that the people thought about the Lord is going to be destroyed in that one instant. The armies of the world is going to be destroyed. That's the beast, NATO. And it said the false prophet, all the lies and philosophies about how the Lord was going to come, how he looks, is going to be destroyed right there at that instant. They go, oh, that's him. The world is going to know who it is. Go ahead.
And with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him.
Yeah, they wrought miracles. They thought, because they made the world to believe like they're unstoppable. Nobody can beat this army. But the Lord's going to come decimated in a matter of a moment. Like, oh, shit, the hell? They going to be messed up. Go ahead.
With which he deceived them that have received the mark of the beast.
And he deceived them to think like, you got the mark of the beast, everything's going to be good. We got a new system. The Lord going to come destroy that system by destroying their armies. Then he going to ultimately destroy all that offends, which is Esau's, his world that he's establishing, is established upon wickedness. Go ahead.
And them that worship his image.
Yep, they're going to be destroyed in the midst of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. By not only by laser beams, but by the missiles. Go ahead.
These both were cast alive into a lake of fire.
Ooh, and that lake of fire ultimately is going to be in Babylon, America, man. You know, go ahead.
Burning with brimstone, and the remnant were slain with the sword of him that sat upon the horse.
The remnant of them that is kept from the destruction in Babylon, because ain't nobody going to survive in Babylon. Everybody going to be dead unless you are the elect and you were taken up out of the destruction. It said that the rest of them were slain with the sword, a killing instrument. So what's the Lord's weapon that he's going to use from the chariots? The lasers. They're going to be destroyed with the sword. Star Wars. Go ahead.
It says, which sword proceeded out of his mouth.
Woo, that's the lasers, man. Because it tells you in another place, Habakkuk, out of his side, beams of light came out, man. It said horns coming out of his hands. You know, go ahead.
And all the fowls were filled with their flesh.
All the fowls, we're just talking about the chariots going into the, I took you upon eagle's wings. It's going into the chariots because it said the fowls, they're like birds. They fly like the birds, like how it says how the birds fly shall the Lord defend Jerusalem. Those birds are going to be destroying, which is the chariots going to be destroying the rest of you damn nations and armies that wasn't completely decimated in the Middle East. They going to, destroy you. Go ahead.
Even some of Esau's aircrafts he names after birds, like his military crafts, Black Hawk.
Yeah, Black Hawk.
And certain other crafts.
Yep, Khan.
Yeah, but that was it.
That was it, Khan. This is 2nd Esdras 13 and 4, going back into the when the Lord makes his return in the Middle East to destroy their armies. This 2nd Esdras 13 and 4. It says, and whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, which is the lasers, like as the earth faileth when it filleth the fire. This 2nd Esdras 13 and 5. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men, World War III, in the valley of Jehoshaphat, out of number, from the four winds of heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea, that came from space. Because up there in the heavens it is the Shemayim, which means waters. So the Lord is going to come out of what you call outer space. All right. It says, and I beheld, And lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew up upon it, which is the chariot that he's going to be riding on, or UFO, the fathership. It says, but I would have seen the region or place where out the hill was graven, and I could not, because it was that big. And it says, and after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight. So they was afraid in themselves, but the Lord put the spirit on them to fight, like, come at me. Come, like, oh, shit. It says, and lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, because you got to remember, Michael and them going to be taking out the Air Force with the chariot, like, zapping them up. But the Lord Yahweh Shai, the armies is going to be on the ground, like, they're going to shoot Scud missiles and everything at him. He's going to be looking at him like, well, come on then, shit. And this is what the Lord going to do. It says, and lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, which is the laser, the epicenter where the laser is going to be at, as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests, which is all mixed together. That's pure concentrated fire. This is verse 11. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude that was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, just imagine just everybody screaming, ah, and it's just quiet. You see, that's how quickly the Lord going to subdue. It says, and upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. Now, who would not be afraid of that? You just like, all you heard was, ah, quiet, like with the smoke everywhere, man. Hey, Star Wars, man, and the rise of Yasha Allah, which brother got it from the Star Wars movie.